Ya Allah, Subhanallah, Ya Allah, Alhamdulillah, Ya Allah, La ilaha, Allahu Akbar, Ya Allah, Subhanallah, Ya Allah, Alhamdulillah, Ya Allah, La ilaha, Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. My name is Hiba Farouk and you're welcome to another edition of Today's Woman, The African Pride, a show built and tailored for the contemporary African Muslim woman. With me in the Wahab Adams studios of MTA Ghana is Mrs. Mubaraka Audu Nasiruddin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So let me just run this through with you. At a little over 46%, Ghana has the highest rate of women entrepreneurs, or if you like, business owners, in a country of about 29 million people in West Africa, which interestingly as well is projected to have the fastest growing economy in the world. This is such a brilliant statistics, and it's very inspirational as well for my viewers, of course, and me, myself, right here in the studio. So would like to go straight to the topic of today, which is how to start up a business. And again, with me in the studio is Mrs. Mubaraka Audu Nasiruddin, who happens to be the CEO of Mo Tribe, the makers of fabrics and clothes from indigenous pieces and materials. Such an interesting business. Welcome again to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so without wasting much time, let's just go straight to it. How does one start a business? How do you just get into a business?
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Hiba, for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform. Okay, so if you say what a business is anything that you do to solve a problem or to satisfy a need of a group of people in a geographical area. Mm-hmm. So, but business plan is also important when you want to start a business as a startup. Mm-hmm. So for Wikipedia, if you check on Wikipedia, a business plan is a formal or a written document that is giving details of your goals of the business, the mode of attaining those goals, and then a framework, time of frame that you can use to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Okay. So that is what Wikipedia says here. So if you come to solving a need or a want, anything can be put down in a proper document to get a business plan. But business plan is not for anybody or any type of business. We have small business, or we have formal or informal businesses. With formal businesses, you need a proper business plan that will attract investment or that will require expansion. But informal businesses do not require. So example of an informal business, a woman who sells tomatoes in the market. Such a woman doesn't need a business plan. All she needs is a capital and then a location. But for a formal business, like if you want to start a clothing line, a chain of retail store, a financial institution, or any those things require a business plan. Even if you don't need financial assistance or a loan from it, but for yourself to use it as a check and balance for what you want to venture into or putting in your money. Such a thing will need a business plan as a checklist for you to be able to know if your business is going to be viable, if it's going to outlast your lifespan. Most of the businesses in Africa here collapse when the owners of the business collapse because of lack of business plans. That we don't put proper business plans or proper structures in place to be able to make the business outlast our lives. So every proper business plan should have the following. You should have an executive summary. You should have a product and service that you want to render. You should have a marketing strategy. You should have a strategic analysis. You should have a financial planning, and also you should have a budget. Having all these things, you also need something called SWOT analysis to be able to check your business. So this SWOT analysis, you look at your strength, you look at your weakness, you look at the opportunities that the business have, and look at the threats, where if there are competitors, what are your competition doing, your weakness, what are you not doing right that your competition are doing that is making them thrive. All those things, the SWOT analysis would help you, to be able to find out if your business is viable or not.
All right. I like that you said if your business is viable. So it leads me to my next question, which is, what are some of the profitable businesses that people can venture in?
For businesses, you can't say a business is profitable or not profitable.
Right.
It depends on how it is done.
Right.
With businesses, you cannot copy and paste businesses. You have to look at your environment, your geographical area. What can you provide that would have demand for it? If there's a demand and supply, then there's a business. But for a business to be profitable or not profitable, depending on management aspects of the business, that is where you need a business plan to be able to be like a guiding tool to be able to make the business a profitable one. So what you can look at in your environment, what are some of the things that people need or people want, or services that people need that you can give out to, that you can use as a business to make profit. So example, if I live in an environment or in a neighborhood that has a lot of corporate people, corporate people do not have a lot of time. So that means they need laundry services, they need cleaning services. In such an environment, I can start a laundry and cleaning services in my neighborhood. I don't need a business plan to do that, but I just need a strategy. I can go talk to them and say, okay, you don't have time. I know how to clean very well. Can I clean your house? So in such an environment, laundry is a very lucrative business. But you can take the same laundry service to another neighborhood that more the women are, or people are having free time. So such people, most of them can do their laundry. So if you're doing a laundry job, it might not be as successful as somebody who is living in an environment or an urban area that has a lot of people going back and forth. So, and also you can come to, if you take Ghana as a whole, we consume a lot of rice. So going into rice farming, they say farming is the biggest, now it's the biggest trend that all the youth are going into farming. But people do farming and fail because they haven't put structures in place, or they don't have a very good business plan toward the kind of farming they want to do. So in Ghana here, a lot of people consume rice. So you want to go into rice farming. Where would you situate the rice farming? You don't situate the rice farming at a place that is very difficult to get the rice to the consumers. You have to make sure that there's access to road. The land is farmable. You don't want to farm on it and make losses. So even though rice is one of the most profitable businesses in Ghana here, but you would go into it and you go into a loss based on the style in which you're going into that kind of business. You're not farming it at the right place. You're not getting the right channel of distribution. All these things you can make your business profitable or give you a loss. Very
well said, Mrs. Mubaraka. So what are some of the categories of businesses or the classifications that people can look into?
So for you, when you want to register a business, first of all, in Ghana here, there is an institution that is mandated to register businesses. So if you're a startup and you want to start a business, first of all, you go to the Register General Department and you want to find out what kind of business you do and what kind of registration they can make for you. So if I should explain that to you, we have 4 type of businesses you can register if you want to register a startup. So we have the sole proprietorship, and then we have the partnership, we have the corporation, and we have the non-profit. So if I want to break it down, the limited liability, that is a limited company. That one, it's a formal business that require a board of director, that require a structure and a system in place to be able to. This one is limited by shares. So that means if you want to go into it, the requirement is more. You require to produce more information. You need a huge capital. You need board of directors. You need a secretary, and all that to be able to register a limited liability. Even though if your business starts and you're under limited liability, and then your company goes into a loss, you will not be held responsible. The company takes up the profits, and the company takes up the losses as well. So Then we have the sole proprietorship or the venture. The sole proprietorship and the venture are type of business that individuals register. So it's a sole business. So I own it solely. I don't need board of directors. I don't need a secretary. I am the manager. I am the accountant. So basically, this is the stage that most entrepreneurs go into because it's easy to register. The requirement is very minimal.
Right, and it's
for you
startup
to-
friendly.
Yes, and startup friendly.
Right.
And also then we have the corporation. The corporation is very, very complicated. It's for big institutions, big corporations that have different structures, multinational. That is where the corporations come in.
Right.
Yeah, that one has a lot of legal things you have to do in a corporation. And then also another type of corporation is also that different group of people, maybe different women entrepreneurs coming together
Right.
to form a corporation.
Right.
That also is available
Right.
under the corporation. So still require a lot of laws, a lot of documents, a lot of agreements.
Legal
at this
processes
level.
and-
Then we
yeah.
have the non-profit. This is for those who want to go into NGO, supporting, giving support that do not require profit.
Right.
But all the other ones require profit.
Right.
The sole proprietor, when you die, the business die with it, it's not transferable.
Right.
But the limited liability is transferable. The cooperative, the partnership is transferable. And also the corporations are also transferable. But the other, so if you want to register a business, you have to go there and then find out which category you want to. And then, but the easiest one for any startup is the sole proprietor.
Right.
Require a little finances and require minimal document as well.
Right, right. Okay, so you essentially answered my fourth question, which is, as an individual, which of the categories would it be easier to dabble in? So we'll just go to the next. How can one start up a business with no money?
Yes, you can start a lot of business with no money. But even though, if you don't have money, you have brains, or if you're intelligent, you can start a business with. So you can attach with somebody who has the money.
Right.
That is one aspect to start a business. Probably you have the idea.
Right.
Somebody has the money. You can attach that person to be able to start the business. If you have the idea and then you don't have the money, so you can now sit down and say, how do I start this business? Then it boils down to what kind of business are you starting up with that you don't require money. Some businesses you cannot do it when it requires money to start. Some too don't. I gave an example earlier about a laundry service. If you want to go into a laundry services in a neighborhood, you might not require any money at all. All you require is your manpower. Later on, you can buy a machine.
Right.
But I can talk to you that, okay, I know how to wash very well. I know how to iron. Can I come to your house to do the laundry? Then you provide me with the soap. But when I finish, I'm going to charge you a fee. Or I want to go into a delivery service. I don't have a bike, but I can move with the public transport.
Right.
So I can charge you for the delivery fee, use part of the money to start the errands.
Right.
And then I can charge you for that.
I appreciate the angle you took with this question because then it throws light on the fact that not everybody, businesses aren't for everybody.
Sure.
So you should be able to know what you want.
Exactly.
And have the knack for, being able to scout around and know that I have to do
Exactly.
this, I have to. That's very interesting. So is it possible to think about a business? Okay, so this is the opposite of what I just spoke about. Is
Yeah.
it possible to think about a business but do not know what to do or how to go about it?
Yes, a lot of people think about thousands of business on a daily basis.
right.
But the biggest problem for this is execution. A lot of people would think of this business, but how to execute it is a problem.
Right.
Some would even have the capital for it,
Right.
but still problem is execution.
Execution.
So if you find yourself in a situation whereby you have the idea and you have the money, this is where you can hire people to help you with the execution.
Right.
So you think of a business, you don't have money. How do you execute it? So one, if you, depending on what you're doing, if that thing requires that you can do it, you can test it. First, you have a business plan for that.
Right.
And then second, you can test it to see whether it is viable. Because the execution is always a problem.
Right.
And then also you can go for training,
Right.
to be trained on the field you want to go in. Example, if you want to go into farming, some of the farming requires some skills to be able to farm that kind of product
Right.
or produce that you want to go.
Right.
So some of them, if you think about it and you can't execute it, so you can do, apart from the training, you can also look for mentors to mentor you on the particular, those who are already into it. Example, somebody is into poultry farming already, and then you also have the capacity to start, but you don't have the requisite skills. So you can go to that person to mentor you, to guide you on how it is done, instead of, but some people also think of business, they don't know how to execute it, and the business dies out in their head. A lot of people have that challenges.
So you were encouraged that if you have a business idea and you think you have the knack for it, you should probably go into some skills acquiring, try and get some research and equip yourself with that.
That fall under the training and learning. And also the mentorship is also what is key. If you can go with this training, you can go, mentorship still falls under training. But this is like, that one will be more of a practical aspect of, not the academia aspect of the mentorship, help you with getting practical skills on hands. As and when you're doing, the person coaches you to do that.
Or you can employ or delegate
people. If you have money, you can hire skilled people in that.
Keyword is skilled.
Yeah, skilled people in that industry.
Right. Okay. So how do you grow your business once you get it started? Like you said, managing it. How do you get it working every day?
Okay, so still under categories. If you can't talk about business without categorizing them, because we have, it's not a one fit all. So if you want to start a business, so let's break it down. I'm sure most of our viewers are people who want to start small businesses. So for small business, you don't require a very complicated business plan. The best thing you need is savings culture. So savings culture is key in starting a business. Every business, whether big or small, savings culture is key. So if you know how to save money properly or manage money, that means you can plow back that money in. If you have business and you don't have enough money to plow back, the business is not going to grow. And if you're not growing a business, you cannot never get investors to invest into that business.
So essentially having the business feed itself.
Sure, it's key. That is plowing back. And also, you can also talk to family and friends. So, fine, let's say, assuming I have a clothing line, it's always good if you use an example that it makes sense. If I know how to sew and I want to start into clothing line, I can come and talk to you that, Madam Hiba, I can make this outfit for you. You understand? Then I make the outfit for you. Then you can recommend other people to me if I'm good. Then the business is growing. So you start growing business with family and friends. That is good family and friends. The key word is good. Because some family and friends would come for discount, credit, and then your business don't grow. So you don't have to deal with people who are credit-based people. Look for people who are willing to pay cash for your effort. Then your business can grow. And then don't meddle into your business the finances of your business. Do not put in your personal money and the business money. Personal monies and business money are two different money. Business money is not for you, it's for the business. So if you are a startup, I will encourage everybody to pay themselves a salary, even if it is small, so you can depend on that. This mistake most of us business people do. I have a business, I don't have a salary. When I need shoe, I take it from that money. If I need, my child is sick, I pick it from that money. But if I pay myself, that money would be able to support my my personal expenses. And business expenses come from the business money, so that your business can grow. Apart from that, people will sit down, they don't want to talk about their business to other people. You can't have a business, it depends on the business, but if you want a business that is viable, that can grow, you have to broadcast it.
Put
so
it out
advertising is. So we have different type of advertising here.
Okay, let's get into that.
Yes, we have different type of advertising here. So let's just say the person who is at the corner, the person is not online. So let's do the offline. Offline is by telling friends and family of what you can do. By walking to people you do not know and telling them what you can offer. So all those things is you are accruing customers. So based on your services and your ability to deliver good services, you have returning customers. The moment you begin to have returning customers, then your business is going to be sustained.
So you can do all of that. I just want to pick something from what you just said. So you can do all of that. You can do all your promotion. You can do your word of mouth. And people can recommend you. But the key word is to be able to deliver efficiently. Because if you do not deliver good quality goods and services to people, you do not have good name to go around. So that's very essential in your business. So you don't just run a business because you think you have the idea. You should be able to solve a problem in society. All right. Thank you so much for the comprehensive breakdown of businesses and the things that come with it. Now, this is sort of in connection with asking if you can start a business with no money. People, like you said, people have so many ideas but the execution is a problem. Can you decide that you don't want to do a small scale business? You just want to, start big. Is it advisable to start a business big time?
Yes
at once?
And no.
Right.
Yes, in a sense that if you have the finance, you have the skill,
right,
you can start big.
Right.
So if you experience, so let's take it if you want to start. We have businesses that started big. If you have a retail store somewhere, or you've worked in a retail store, you have the experience and you have the money, you can come and start big, and it's going to work for you. And if you have the money and you don't have the skill, in this case, you can still hire people who have the skill to manage it for you. So going big all depends on your budget or the available money or resources that you have. So the no aspect is if you have minimal money, budget or finance, and you put it all and it doesn't work, you grind down to zero.
Right.
So that is where it's no.
Right.
When you don't have skills, you don't have enough money. But if it is yes, if you have, then it's yes. So it's both a yes and a no. Some go big, some need to go big to be able to attract more.
Right.
So all that
it should be considered.
Yes.
Okay. So who do you need? You mentioned that you need friends and family and all of that. But aside that, do you need some key people or key persons like an accountant to grow your business or to start your business? Like key, people that are going to, assist you with your business? Okay. So
as I said earlier, business is not a one fit for all.
Right.
So some businesses, when you want, assuming you want to start a financial institution, you need an accountant, you need a manager, you need a marketing person, you need all assistants. You need all these people in place to be able to make some institutions, some companies or businesses start.
Right.
But some businesses, you don't require that. Especially now if you want to say somebody's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur like myself started without, as a single person.
Right.
You are the accountant, you are the manager, you are the
marketer,
you are the everything.
Right.
You are the HR.
Right.
And then, but
you're the HR of yourself.
Yes. If you are into the sole proprietor, you are all this.
Right.
But the key thing is, how do you juggle all these things and make it work? Because at that moment, you cannot, employ the services of all these things. But you should have an accountant who would come once in a while to audit what you're doing. So at this stage, if you can't employ all these things, you need good bookkeeping.
Right.
So the bookkeeping is essential here.
Right.
Make sure your books are correct. You keep receipts, you keep payment vouchers, you keep everything so that if you have a higher once in a while accountant who come to make your books good for you, so that you can use it to for your financial statement to know if your company is doing well. Because at the end of every year, as a business, you need a financial statement. So if you don't put these books together, then you cannot have an accurate financial statement, and you will not know whether you made profits or lost in the course of the year.
Right.
So that is very key.
So for people who aren't well versed in the business world, they may notice a few foreign words. So I guess, like you said, to be able to acquire skills, you could go online and learn one or two things that would help you in running your own business.
Or you can learn it on the go, the hard way. But you still need professionals, because some of the things are like accounting.
Right.
You might not understand how to balance some of the things. So you need to get training. That is why you need a professional accountant to once in a while to come and help you. So other person is help you. The person help you to understand some of the key things you need to understand in running simple accounting. You understand?
Right.
So if it comes to the marketing aspect, you need some idea of how to market the product and services, which tools you need to use at what point. We have direct marketing, we have online marketing, we have offline marketing, we have all this type of marketing. If you are not a trained marketer, you will not understand all those things.
Right.
So probably I'm a dressmaker. All I know how to do is to make the dresses.
Right.
But I know that I received 1 cedis or I received 2 cedis. That I can write down. At the end of the day, I know that I used 0.5 pesos to buy fabrics and accessories,
Right.
and then I sold it at 1 cedi, 50 pesos. If I should do that simple deduction, I'll know that I have made direct profits on. This is the direct profits. The direct profit is the profit you're making exactly from how much you're selling.
Right.
But you have to deduct utility, efforts, and all that from the same money. After that, then you know that you're making profit or not. So simple accounting is very key. If you want to hire somebody, you should understand the kind of person you want to hire, who would come and
Add
support,
value to your business.
add value to the business or whatever you're doing.
Right.
So you just don't. So that's when you become the HR.
Right. Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
If you have to go out to scout for the items you need to produce, then you become the procurement manager.
Right.
Then you know to get the best quality at affordable price. Then you start thinking differently. So it depends on where you find yourself. You go all around. That is if you're a small or if you are a sole proprietor.
Right.
You are all these things at the same time. You should be able to manage, and you still become the marketing manager when you have to deal with customer. Customer relationship is very key here. How to relate with your customers,
Right.
how to handle them, how to make them want to come back and pay your price. Not just to get customers, but get customers who are willing to pay your price.
Right.
Then
Pay for
you are-
your services and your goods. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mubaraka Audu Nasiruddin. You have very comprehensively answered all my questions. I'm sure the viewers out there feel very satisfied and want to. If you still have questions, you could run to Google and then ask Google, and they'd answer all your questions. Before we run it off, what words of advice do you have for our listeners and our viewers?
Okay, so I would like to say that if you have a dream or a passion for something, you have to go for it. You have to chase it. You know, business is about passion. It's very difficult to run your own business.
Right.
Some would start and run back to getting salary. But if you're ready to work on your own, you should be able to take the chances, the shocks. You have to you have to psych yourself very hard. You have to have this resilient spirit. That's it. When you're down, you want to bounce back. You have to motivate yourself. That is very key. And you have to understand your self-worth. That this thing that I'm doing, you have to believe in your product
Right.
and the services that you render.
Right.
So all these things, and then never give up. Don't sleep on your dream. Don't wait to be employed. All these things that you have to wake up in the morning, motivate yourself, and go out there and try to chase your dream. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mubaraka Audu, the CEO of Mo Tribe. She says, do not sleep on your dream. But then again, you should understand that businesses come with risks. So not every business will survive, but it doesn't mean you should stop there. You should strive and try and put your businesses, your dreams, your ideas, your aspirations, put it out there. In the course of the discussions, I picked on a few keywords, which is the SWOT, your strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths. Very key to running a business. Execution, which is basically making sure that your business has longevity and never dies. And your business should be able to solve a problem. If you start up a business and you're not able to solve a problem, definitely there wouldn't be demand for supplying of services or goods from your end. This has been a very educational discussion or discourse, if you like. I would like to end this by saying that women make up 58% of the continent's self-employed businesses in Africa. So this is very interesting for all the women watching me out there. If you, like Mrs. Mubaraka said, if you have your dream, if you have any aspirations, if you think you can solve a certain problem, if you think you have any goods or services to provide the community or the society, you should go out there and execute it. My name is Hiba Farouk, and this has been today's Woman, the African Pride, coming to you from the Wahab Adams Studios of MTA Ghana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
And there is no God beside him, the knower of the unseen and the seen. He is the gracious and the merciful God. Oh Allah, you are most great. He is Allah, and there is no God beside him, the knower of the unseen and the seen. He is the gracious and the merciful God. Oh Allah, you are most great. Oh Allah, you are holy. Oh Allah, we praise you. Oh Allah, there is no God. You are most great. Oh